Welcome back in. I want to give you a scenario. You've just left a hangout, somebody's home maybe, where people were smoking and the smell just embedded itself into your clothing. Well, that smell is third-hand smoke, and it poses a potential threat to your kids, and that threat persists even when they're in daycare. Here to tell us more is Angela Brumley-Shelton with the Lexington Health Department. Angela, thank you for coming on our show today. And to be quite honest with you, I had heard of third-hand smoke before this, but I wasn't exactly sure what it is, because we are all familiar with secondhand smoke, the direct inhalation of smoke from someone else's cigarette, but I didn't realize that the smoke that clings to you can pose a threat to others, right?
Right. It's a relatively new concept. Most people encounter third-hand smoke or realize what it is when they go into a house and they clean the walls, or they take a picture off the wall and they realize how clean it is underneath. And what we know now is that's actually quite dangerous. There's a lot of toxins. It's especially dangerous to children.
Sure.
And because they tend to put their hands in their mouths and crawl on the floor where they pick up more of the toxins. And we know now it's actually quite dangerous. Wow.
Now, you and the health department are working to create third-hand smoke-free zones, correct?
We're working on it, especially in child care, because what happens if one of the child care workers smokes on their breaks or comes in from their homes smelling like smoke, or with that third-hand smoke on their clothes, the children in care are exposed to it.
Right. What are some of the dangers, I guess, we could see? I'm seeing here SIDS is a risk, right?
It is. That's one of the most severe risks that we worry about, and also one of the scariest and most tragic dangers. But otherwise, that's a lot of the risks that we see with secondhand smoke: increased asthma, ear infections, some of those same things. Okay,
so I guess how are you guys trying to implement this throughout Lexington and Fayette County?
Well, right now we're just doing education. We're doing a lot of fact-finding. We're seeing how child care workers and child care directors feel about it, see what their thoughts are, and we're just doing a lot of information gathering, and also doing a lot of education and training.
I guess one thing that I also found surprising, when you think of the smell that a cigarette releases, you just think of that as a smell often. You're like, oh, you know, maybe if you don't like the smell, oh, that stinks. Well, that's not just a smell, it's poison, right?
It is. We've kind of simplified our message down to smell equals poison, because if you can smell it, those are the toxins that you're absorbing.
Talk about the gold standard for child care center tobacco policy for employees. All child care workers have health insurance that covers tobacco cessation, right? So this maybe wouldn't only benefit the child care centers, but it could also benefit people who are possibly looking to quit smoking?
It is. That's what we're moving to. It's very difficult, but that's what we would like to see eventually, that employers in the industry would provide cessation for their employees.
Well, that would be great for a lot of people, you know, who are interested in quitting smoking. How can people learn more information about this and get in contact with the health department specifically about this?
They can just contact the health department, and they can just ask, say, I want to learn more about third-hand smoke, and they'll get in touch with my department, and we can give them all the information they would ever want to know.
All right, and the biggest thing here is we want to protect our children, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Angela, thank you so much for joining us in studio today, telling us a little bit more about this plan and see if we can watch it move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, if you've ever been photobombed, you know how frustrating it can be. Video bombing, even worse. And reporters in Greece are coping with an especially pesky heckler. That story straight ahead.